Well, take a bow, son. I mean that, take a bow.
So it was another solid win for Chelsea. Obviously we had the poor game against Burnley, we had 9 men, and everyone was going on about, oh, it's a crisis, but then obviously we went to beat Spurs, and we've got another good win against a good team. I wanted to start on the lineup very quickly. The only real surprise I found was that Rudiger was in place of Christensen, because Christensen had a really good game against Spurs. Obviously he's shown all that promise that we expected out of him, so I was quite disappointed. But I mean, obviously Conte's invested in Rudiger. He's obviously a Conte signing, and he believes in him. I personally haven't seen so much to think that he's worth the 34 million or whatever we paid for him. He looks a bit inconsistent, but then again, a lot of defenders take a long time to adjust to the Premier League, so we need to give him time. But again, based on sort of recent form, I was very surprised to see Christensen out. Obviously, we started the game quite solidly. Everton were quite poor, actually. I think they're just obviously knackered from all the games they played recently. I think they played 3 games in 7 days. I saw them against City, looked very good, but they just didn't. They just looked like a completely different team. Morata obviously got another assist with his head as well. Really good goal from Fabregas. I'm so happy for him, because there was loads of talk of him obviously leaving, and for him to get a goal when he starts, because a lot of people saying maybe he's just better off the bench. It's really good, and it should do his confidence a world of good, but also his chances of being selected, because we really need him, especially in home games, and we need Conte to have that confidence in him to start him. And obviously Morata got a goal himself. It was another brilliant header. He keeps getting himself every single game in positions where he can head the ball. His off the ball movement is fantastic. If he can just get a little bit more clinical, he would bang so many goals in with his head. Not that he's not doing that already. He obviously got 2 goals already for us. So yeah, he's doing all the right things, and I'm sure the longer he plays and the longer he starts to get used to the way we play and the Premier League is, he's going to be an absolutely fantastic player for us. But yeah, really chuffed for him. On Morata, I have seen a lot of people, well, especially today, saying how poor he was before the goals and assists, and everyone, I don't understand it. People need to realise that you need to give these players like at least a season to sort of bed in, especially sort of strikers, because typically a striker takes a season to get used to the Premier League, especially if they're coming from a wildly different league like La Liga, which played at a complete different tempo, complete different style. So I mean, a lot of guys just need to give him a break, and the guy's got he's played 2 games, he's got 2 goals, 2 assists. What more do you want from a striker? Yeah, maybe he's not looking that fantastic on the ball at the moment, maybe looking a bit rusty, but he didn't have a full pre-season with us, and he's going to slowly turn into the player we expect him to be in a few months, I imagine. But the guy's doing brilliant. Morata's doing absolutely brilliant, and he's completely hit the ground running. The thing I love about him is he's good in the air, and it's really nice to have a striker who's actually good in the air, because when was the last time we had one? Really, Didier Drogba, and I'm talking peak Didier Drogba. Are we talking 5 years ago or so? So yeah, it just has a massive string to our bow, and it's a really good thing for us, because I do feel like it suits our play a lot more as well. Costa was awful in the air for someone who was 6'2". He just didn't jump, so to have someone who can win headers, we're going to get so many extra goals, and we can play definitely a different type of football. I felt we pretty much just cruised to victory in the second half. The players just seemed to want to secure the win, get the clean sheet. I think Courtois had 1 save to make, which was a good save, but Everton didn't really offer too much, to be honest. Again, like I said, they were quite poor. I don't know if it was more that they were poor or we were really good, but it's probably a mixture of both. I tell you who I was really impressed with in Everton's team. I saw him against City, and he had a few sparks against us as well. Is Calvert-Lewin, the young English striker. He's a very good lone striker, and it's a very hard thing to do, because obviously you've got to run the channels, you've got to be able to close down, you've got to have good hold-up play, and he looks like he has the desire to do that, so he's definitely one to watch. One thing I wanted to touch on was Batshuayi. So he obviously came on from Morata with 15 minutes to go, and he's not had the best start to the season, which is disappointing, because he had a really good pre-season and he ended last season really well, so we were all really hoping that he would obviously hit the ground running. And he just, I don't know, he reminds me a bit of Torres, when Torres first signed for us, and he was desperate to prove the 50 million was worth it, and he was chasing down every ball. Every time he got the ball, he was just trying to score. And Batshuayi he's just rushing everything. He's trying to score wonder goals. He had a chance when we were on a breakaway, and I think it was like 3-on-3, and he tried to beat the defender with a fake shot, and he lost the ball, and he should have played it out wide. He just needs to keep things simple. He needs to play his game that he knows he's good at, and I feel like if he's going to come on, he's going to contribute, whether that's with an assist or just help with build-up play. That's such a better route into the team rather than trying to score wonder goals, because even if he bangs in a 25-yarder but he wastes 4 other chances, Conte's going to pull him up on that. So, yeah, Mitchie, you need to just stick to your game. Are we title contenders? I don't know, it's hard to say. United obviously started with 3 wins out of 3. It's way too early to say anything at this point anyway, because I think United had 3 wins out of 3 last season. I think City won their first 10 games in all competitions, and everyone thought they were going to win it, and we didn't start very well. So I definitely feel like I've seen enough from the first 3 games to show that we are not going to have a crisis season. It's going to be a good season again. Whether or not we win the title, we don't know. It really depends on who we sign in the next few weeks. Apparently, we've got 2 signings practically in the bag and a 3rd one incoming. It looks like we're going to probably get like Drinkwater, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then maybe someone like Jamie Vardy or something like that, some sort of wild cards. So it'll be interesting. Sorry if it's gone all weird. My camera died like halfway through, so I had to go charge it. Anyway, like I was saying, it'd be interesting to see what happens when the Champions League comes around, because obviously we've been playing a lot more games, so a lot more players are going to get more minutes. The likes of Batshuayi is definitely going to feature. So that's where it's going to come in, and I think it's going to be a case of prioritising. Conte's probably going to prioritise the league. I don't think he's got a very good history in competing for cup competitions, so... But I do definitely feel like we can transfer the title from what I've seen. If we add a few more players, then why can't we do it again? Conte's an absolutely brilliant manager. He's probably the best in the world at the moment, so anything's possible, and it'd just be very interesting to see who we actually sign. So it's going to be a really interesting few days in the transfer market, and hopefully we can come into September with a fully fit Hazard and a couple of really good signings as well to add some good depth. If you guys could leave me some feedback as well, some comments, and just in regards to any sort of improvements in these videos, I really appreciate it. If you did like this video and you would like to see more, please do hit the subscribe button as well, because I don't have very many. So yeah, cheers.